Good morning. In this session, we will talk about media and entertainment. So, we'll focus on Wave Summit, Creative Revolution, and the investment opportunities related to it. So, the first World Audiovisual Entertainment Summit, which was known as Wave Summit, was held in Mumbai from 1st to 4th of this month. The idea was to encourage global players as well as India's entertainment sector to go digital. And India would not only be a consumer for it, but would also be a producer and innovator. Now, this idea was given in one of the Man Ki Baat episodes, and there was an idea regarding that India should bring producers, innovators in the field of regional films, animations, gaming, television, entertainment, and become a creative hub. Now, this has been a very important idea. So, under the Wave Summit, the idea was create in India, create for world. Now, this platform that we focus on, like one of the platforms, for example, YouTube, focuses on bringing in creative domain. So, through the cinema, OTT platforms, gaming, animation, and immersive experience of augmented and virtual reality, the idea is to connect the East and the West through the vision of create in India, create for world. Now, this focuses on bringing in Indian artists, Indian creators at a global level, and the another important idea of active participation in this movement is let the waves reach the home and every heart. Now, India has become one of the global leaders and media and entertainment sector. Now, this has been highlighted off and on. Some of the important four pillars that have been highlighted in the Wave Summit were cinema and series, which talked about global film collaborations, animation, VFX, then talking about OTT and digital media, which focuses on partnership with live streaming, and then music and live entertainment. Now, these have been focus for innovation, cultural exchange, and creating job opportunities in India. Also, there has been one of the note that talked about the Chicago World Fair, and this was another idea where India spread the vision of culture, creativity, yoga, and Ayurveda on the global stage. The next is orange economy. Now, orange economy is a term that talks about driving creative talent, intellectual property, and cultural heritage as one of the key engines and focus of global economic growth. India has been one of the major components of it, with a huge number of youth and creative population, rapid digital adaptation, and a high number of regional content coming on. This can really be beneficial. Another major initiative is establishment of National Center for Excellence for Animation, Visual Effect, Gaming, Comics, Extended Reality in Mumbai. Now, this center would work as one of the centers for boosting technology and innovation, emphasizing infrastructure and creating excellence. So, AVGC is the code for that. So, audiovisual, gaming, and comic is the basic idea under this platform. Now, these are the four divisions under which the Wave Summit was highlighted, as we already discussed. But let's talk about some of the challenges. The first is the challenges which focuses on bringing the things into a global stage or a global world, and elevating the create in India mission so that it can reach to better heights. Now, the next one is creative revolution. Now, under the creative revolution, we have seen that lifestyle has been depicted in various ancient temples, which has been a tradition of storytelling. Now, these temples actually have the representation of the lifestyle of India. Now, one earth, one family, one future, which is in alignment with the sustainable development goal, is one such idea through which we would understand how to bring this content to the global platform, and every piece tells a story. So, capturing imaginations, inspiring new perspectives are again really important. So, World Economic Forum and Cannes have been some of the global platforms through which creative talent has been brought globally. But as we have seen, India has a rich history of film and media with nearly last 125 years of dedication to the field. We also have various guides through which there have been ways to preserve and bring this on the global platform. So Creatosphere is a vibrant zone which is the space for the creative minds in India and abroad, and this Wave Summit was an idea to ensure that creative economy would enable new waves of storytellers and innovators across the globe. Now again, there has been a support engine which is known as Wave Accelerator, and this is an idea to connect startups and investors and mentor them through the live pitch sessions there itself. So there have been AI driven animations, FDI investments in film and advertising, and bringing in a kind of movement which would elevate India's creative talent to new height. Another idea under it was Waves Bazaar. Now Waves Bazaar is an online marketplace which would link business and creators from various industries and bring them and would help in bringing collaboration across the creators. The next is Creative Capital. So as we said, Mumbai would be one of the centers where National Center of Excellence of AVGC would be established in India. But again, media education and skill development in the same field has been very, very important. And through this summit, the idea was to focus on one of the crucial sectors, which is the sunrise sector that talks about cultural expression, innovation and economic growth. So again, there was a National Creator Award which was launched last year. The idea was to boost the creative economy in India by fostering active collaboration with various social media platforms. Again, there has been a rise of the creative economy. According to United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, there has been more than 2.25 trillion jobs which are created annually on the field of creative economy, and this has provided jobs to nearly 30 million jobs, 30 million people, and 30 million jobs have been created in the same line, right? Now these are some quick facts where we say India's influencer market itself is somewhere at around 2000 crores, and then there is a large portion of India's animation output which is again outsourced, which is basically the post-production that goes to the international studio. Those post-production activities can be done within the country, and also the animation and the VFX sector alone is actually forecasted to grow from 1 billion to 2.2 billion in 2026, which shows a very high increase from to up to 6%, right? The next is the traditional cinema education. Now, there have been institutions like MGR Institute in Chennai, which started even before the independence. Then we have FTII, which is in Pune, which started in 1960. Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute, which was initially in Kolkata. Then a new campus was started in Arunachal Pradesh. Then we have Association of Indian Universities and UGC, which have initiated efforts for cinema education. There have been more number of institutions coming up. There are various academies on private fund like Subhash Ghai's Whistling Woods, Anupam Kher's Acting Academy are some of the examples for the same. And then, as we said, the AVGC sector is expected to reach nearly 26 billion by 2030, and India has been one of the major components of it, generating nearly $20 billion annually and providing employment to nearly 1 million people within India. So this is a huge number, and of course, if this industry flourishes, that would bring in a huge amount of GDP returns to India. Now, the next is 65% of the population is below the age of 35 years, and therefore India holds a global hub for creative talents. Now, under the new educational policy also, we have talked about digital media, storytelling tools for experiential learning, and again, this would be one of the ways through which creative coders, motion graphic designers or animators could develop better. And then Indian studios are already handling the international projects from companies like DreamWorks, Disney, Marvel, and the future can be brought in further. So if we talk about the gaps We need a skill set of population which would be nearly around 20 lakh skilled professionals in this segment. Currently we have only about 25% of the graduates who are ready to consider this industry as one of their fields for future, and the infrastructure is limited. We do not have green screens, editing studios, production facilities in tier 2 tier 3 cities as of now. But employment if increased, then there would be a possibility that there are more companies coming up in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well. Now under this AVGC promotion task force, the idea, as we already said, is one, the establishment of National Center of Excellence in Mumbai, then global skill benchmarking, state specific roadmap for local languages, and then through the Skill India mission, creating an upskilling people. Now for example, India can partner with New York Film Academy and train and upskill assistant editors. Similarly, we have National Film Development Corporation, Prasar Bharati, and other institutes who have been working. Amazon has been involved with Prime Videos, Alexa, Amazon Music. So again, under the Companies Act, India requires 2% of the profit to be allocated to CSR activities, and these CSR funds could set up labs, for example, in the rural areas of Madhya Pradesh or Assam, and discover the hyper-local content creators in those areas. Now, Gati Shakti is another idea through which we are creating creative industries, and there have been online platforms like IGOT Karmayogi, which streamlines the access to courses, mentors, and jobs, and creates a complete ecosystem. Similarly, there have been ideas for generating digital content, film content, music content under the international box office, and there have been various blockbusters who have been achieving successes in India, not only North India but even from South India as well. Right. The next is the animation. Under animation, we are focusing on outsourcing the work to creative original IPs. Iconic productions like Hanuman, Chota Bheem have some of the important roles in shaping this industries. And then there, as we said, with the cultural storytelling ideas, we can bring in the culture of India at a global stage, and those would again be one of the landmark projects which would deeply connect the Indian audience and drive content development. So for example, as Mowgli as a character is being liked by children across the globe, why not Chota Bheem or Motu Patlu? So that is the basic idea of creating the animation industry and boosting the animation sector. Now for the initiatives from the government side, as we said, one is the promotion task force, the next is the National AVGC XR mission. Now this offers establishment of centers of excellence, creating support through startups and Make in India, upskilling, incentives for international producers, and then at the global stage, definitely India has a benefit because we have affordable skilled workforce, rich culture, rich mythology which could be brought into various forms and animated content globally, then technology, international collaboration, and but still with all of these we do have certain challenges, because we one of the major challenge is the regional content. Now if that regional content could be brought into a language which is well accepted globally, then this would be more beneficial. Also, we are talking about media entertainment sector. With 971 million internet users and nearly 690 million smartphone owners, India has seen a digital surge, and India has become the world's second largest mobile gaming market. But now our focus is not just for India but for the globe, and therefore creating content outside the regional content becomes very, very important. And also we need to understand the market dynamics. So particularly we have seen that there is a increasing disposable income, particularly among the 377 million Generation Z, which accounts for 48% of the out-of-home entertainment and is ready to spend for entertainment in one form or the other. Foreign direct investment varies from 26% to 100%, and then the industry has seen and attracted nearly $115 billion in cumulative FDI, which is again a huge amount that we have seen. Also, we are talking about bringing in the gaming related funding, and mobile gaming received 60%, real money gaming captured 30%, and gaming technology nearly 10%. There have been global giants like Nintendo, Xbox, Sony, who have been building in communities and building in and leveraging IPs from Indian stories and creating innovative gaming titles. Why not those kind of things can be brought and created within the country? Now, talking about the government initiatives, there have been numerous number of initiatives as we have already discussed on, and several states have been working forward under the global culture and bringing in some of the best storytelling ideas from their native centers, right? So for this, there have been under the National Center for Excellence, the idea is to position India as a global content hub, bring in and strengthen soft power, industrial collaboration, research institutions being established, IP creation for global outreach, and R&D activities to be brought in. Now, to bring this, there has been an important role of immersive technologies, AR/VR technologies, industry-driven and job-driven prospects for the incoming students, and then media technology and media growth has been important. Now, organized by Government of India along with Internet and Mobile Association of India, there was an event which was, as we discussed, the Wave Summit, and it brought in investors from various aspects. The basic idea was to bring in more visibility, bring in investors to the platform, expert mentorship who could mentor the Indian talent, and we can expand the market. So under the investment options, the one very important was WavesX boardroom. This was a live television pitching. Then venture capital open pitching under the WavesX investment arena. Then there have been the criteria for startups, which have been already known when we have discussed the startup, and then the selection and the review process. Now certain of these startups have been shortlisted for the funding, right? The print media and the growth related to print media again has posed a serious challenge with digital developments, internet and AI, but still we are optimistic that print media would persist despite of the changes in the lifestyle of the people. Now positive trends have been documented in press, and we have seen that the document officially released by the Press Registrar General of India talks about the state of the newspapers and periodicals and highlights the circulation. The publications have grown from nearly 1.18 lakh to 1.47 lakh, and this are estimated to reach to 1.49 lakh, which is a significant figure and a significant boost. Also in the last year alone, we have seen nearly 2,300 new publications which have started in India. Of these, Hindi is one of the languages in which the highest number of publications have grown, followed by English. This trend has been significant for both the official language and English. Now, even the number of women have increased. So one of the studies from borrowers to builders, the number of women applying for credit has become 3 times, and this is one of an indicator for financial inclusion. Also, these initiatives have come through the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana for expanding the credit to women. There have been surge in the credit demands for women seeking financial assistance to bring in their platforms globally. Also, leadership in rural and semi-urban areas, and ensuring that there is a positive credit health. So nearly 62% of the women monitor their credit bands and are able to maintain good credit health, which is a significant figure, right? The next is self-monitoring women borrowers have increased from 1 million in 2018 to 27 million in 2024, and the scores of the women borrowers have been given in the category here. So subprime only 16%, but super prime have been 7%, and prime plus around 16%, which is a good figure, right? Now, as we have seen the categorization of the people, Generation Z, born between 1997 and 2012, then there have been a significant changes in the way in which there has been a shift in the economic power, and we are talking about better economic resilience and economic strength of country by bringing in knowledgeable borrowers and savvy financial participants, so that there is better growth with investments and opportunities. So those were some of the important things that we have discussed. Of course, this edition was solely focused on media and entertainment with prime focus on Wave Summit. We would be meeting again in another session on Kurukshetra. Till then, thanks for joining in. Have a good day.